Hello, Gemini, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We're looking at all three sides of it. We've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story. So looking at your version of the truth / perception, their perception, and then this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. These energies can absolutely be swapped. So if you end up resonating more with the energy to my right than to my left, that is totally fine and totally normal. And if you're a cross watcher, meaning you're watching for a Gemini, then vice versa, right? You could end up resonating more with the energy to my left than to my right. Do remember, these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully with everyone. So do take what resonates and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. As always, we have a different deck for each side of this connection, but I'm going to go ahead and jump in with the overall energy that I have already pulled. So Gemini, on your side of this connection, you have courage with the Ace of Swords in reverse. This connection is really forcing you to tap into a new level of confidence, a new level of courage, of what is the word I'm looking for? Like power, like self-power, self-confidence, self-power. Right now, you're viewing this connection through a distorted lens. There's not a whole lot of clarity in this connection right now. And I feel like that is causing this to be a little bit more difficult. It's been a little bit more difficult to step into your power because there has been this lack of clarity. Now, when I talk about stepping into your power, that's stepping into your confidence, making decisions that are best for you, walking away from situations that don't serve you, things of that nature. Now, this person, they have trust with the Nine of Swords. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like this person has trust issues, and I feel like they have made it your problem. That is what is coming through. Now, when you have trust issues in any kind of connection, the worst possible thing that you can do is project that onto a new person, right? If you have been hurt by someone in the past, and you then bring those issues into the current connection and project those onto that person, you will, without a doubt, sabotage that connection, create conflict where conflict doesn't exist, and ultimately kind of end in allowing your trauma to affect the other person. Now, I'm not saying this is you that is doing that. Remember, this is this person. And I feel like why things have been so difficult is I feel like you have tried to make up for their trust issues, almost like try to try to heal them, try to fix them, trying to do something that has caused you more pain than anything. Because I feel like it's this level of maybe this person doesn't, isn't really able to trust fully, and you're saying, well, you can trust me, but this person has made it very difficult for you to fully show them that. It's almost like you feel like you have to prove yourself in this connection, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Now, this person, or in between this connection, you both have karmic path with the devil. So there is a karmic cycle at play, and it has to do with this devil energy. This devil energy could be codependency. It could be addiction. It could be just, unhealthy attachment. It could be anything. So hopefully we get more information on that. But I do feel like there's a karmic cycle that is at play in this connection that is currently being brought to the surface. And I feel like it has to do, for instance, if you're codependent, you often believe that your worth comes from what you do for another person. So if you know that this person struggles with their own stuff, you're trying to bring whatever you can to the table to help heal that person, right? But then in reality, you can't ever heal or fix someone else. They have to be willing to do the work. Like, I know that when I got into my current relationship, I had so many trust issues from past relationships. And there were so many times that I wanted to make it his problem, and I wanted to get, upset at him for not texting me back fast enough, or, get mad at him for the ways that my anxiety was triggered through our connection. But I had to stop myself and withdraw and say, you know what? This isn't his fault. The way that I feel about this isn't his fault. There's no reason I shouldn't trust him, blah, blah, blah. And that has led to our healthy connection. Now, I'm saying that because I feel like this person did the opposite. I feel like they put pressure on you to be what you like more than who you are because of their own issues. So let's start by looking at your side of this connection, Gemini, clarifying courage with the Ace of Swords in reverse. This is Gemini's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. This is Gemini's side of this connection. There's that karmic cycle. The Chariot in reverse. I mean, Nine of Pentacles in reverse, Moon, Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and the Chariot in reverse. And these two cards are two cards of things not moving forward. So this connection, I feel like it came to like a halt. It could have been an abrupt halt. It could have been something that was a long time coming. But through that, a lot of your fear was brought to the surface. And why there was so much fear brought to the surface was because of this karmic cycle. So something happened in this connection that triggered this moon, this fear here. And I feel like now it's felt like you haven't been able to break yourself out of this fear. And it could be fear of what the future holds, or fear of, like, I don't know. It could be fear of anything. Like this, I just feel like this is such a general reading, because this could be, I mean, fear in connections and in relationships could be so many different things. All right, Gemini side of this connection. Gemini side of this connection, please. The Eight of Swords. So you're dealing with quite a few of your own limiting beliefs when it comes to love. So what are these limiting beliefs, though? Because there's the Ace of Swords in reverse. That's why you're not able to see things clearly. And you have the Four of Swords here. It's almost like there's this need for self-reflection regarding these Eight of Swords, but I want more on these Eight of Swords, on what these limiting beliefs are. Because remember, 95% of your movements, choices, and decisions come from your subconscious. Only 5% of the way that you interact with your reality is conscious. So you can consciously be like, I want a healthy relationship. I want, to be able to communicate, in a healthy way. I want reciprocal energy in my relationship, whatever the case is, right? Could be wanting something, but then 95% of you could be acting against that. So for instance, just going off of like trust issues, right? You could say like, I want to trust this person, but then these beliefs that you have internalized because of your experiences are saying, I can't trust. And so your actions are going to align more with those limiting beliefs than they will with what you want. And that's why you have to kind of learn to almost like override your belief system and make sure that these limiting beliefs that you have due to past trauma and past experiences don't get in the way. Now, I'm just kind of explaining where this Eight of Swords is coming from, because I want to know how yours played a role in this connection. Clarifying this Eight of Swords for Gemini's side of this connection. Ooh. Clarifying this Eight of Swords for oh my goodness. Bearing other people's burdens. The Ten of Wands. There's a part of you, Gemini, that believes that you have to fix other people in order to, like, that's like an aspect of love. Or like, if you don't fix someone else to be who you deserve, then you're never going to receive what you deserve. And maybe that's what happened here. Like maybe you knew that this person had certain downfalls, but you chose to invest in this anyway because you thought, well, maybe, this maybe this will get better over time, or maybe I'll be able to help them see their own worth, or whatever the case is, right? Gemini side of this connection. Perfectionism. Gemini, you put a lot of pressure on yourself in this connection. There you are as the Queen of Wands. Or, sorry, obviously Queen of Swords. Maybe you're dealing with fire sign, the Queen of Wands. I don't know. You put a lot of pressure on yourself when it comes to this connection. And I feel like that's why this courage here is so magnified, is because it feels like you did everything you could and it still didn't work out. And I feel like that has left you feeling very powerless and very much like you are not good enough. And, that's a natural thing to happen when any connection comes to an end, is to take it personally and look at it through the lens of our insecurity and our fear and things of that nature. But there's more going on here. And I feel like this connection, if it did end, it could still be together. but it could just be like not working out like you want it to or something. There's almost this level of resentment that you've built up for yourself because you weren't perfect or because you weren't enough, quote unquote. You were enough, but because you felt like you weren't enough. That has caused you, I feel like it has caused you to feel, like I said, very powerless, very maybe weak, or maybe, like just not good enough. Gemini side of this connection to the person they're dealing with, when that is not a truth, right? That is something that is being brought to the surface, but it is not a truth. Gemini side of this connection. Okay. The situation wasn't really fair for you. The situation wasn't fair to you. But I want more than that, because I feel like, it's like the way that this person put their burdens on you wasn't fair to you. But it's almost like now you're putting pressure on yourself because you're feeling like you didn't handle it well enough, or like you didn't do a good enough job, or maybe you snapped, or maybe you broke, or maybe you couldn't do it anymore. And you're like, feeling like you're not good enough, or like something of that nature. But the thing is, it wasn't really fair to you. So, but yet you felt like you had to bear the burden of someone, of obviously their maybe emotional unavailability or emotional inconsistency or trust issues or whatever the case is, or all of the above even, right? And I feel like it wore on you and it tore you down, and it makes plenty of sense why you feel the way you do. But I also feel like at the same time, there's a part of you that believes that bearing someone else's burdens and maybe like being the fixer or whatever the case is necessary in order for you to receive love. This is Gemini side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. Because you did have love here. You did you do have love for the, I don't know. I keep speaking in past tense for these readings because this feels like it's like, these all just kind of feel like connections that people are currently like trying to heal from. It doesn't have to be. But there was a lot of love here, and that's why you felt very stuck. I feel like you were like, you wanted this to work because you did care. You did maybe see this person's potential, or you did empathize with this person in their past, and that made it feel like what you were doing maybe was justified. But at the same time, you went into this, into this situation in a way that wasn't really fair to you. It's like you felt like, and maybe that's where codependency comes into play, is you feel like you have to, like your worth doesn't come from who you are, but for what you provide or what you do for another person, which is not where your worth comes from. Your worth comes from who you are as a person, right? Not from what you do or from how intelligent you are, how attractive you are. None of that is a reflection of your worth. This person's energy, or Gemini's energy towards this person. Gemini's energy toward this person, please. Gemini's energy toward this person. Gemini, this is you not putting yourself first. Because there's a part of you that doesn't believe that you are deserving of putting yourself first. So that's why I feel like you bared the burdens of this person, is because you felt like that was where your worth came from. Your worth in this connection, or whatever made you feel lovable, came from feeling like you had to take on this person's stuff. And that's just that's not sustainable for the long term. It's not. It's not sustainable for you for the long term. But let's see. What is this person's energy toward Gemini? This person's energy toward Gemini, please. This person's energy toward Gemini. One more. This person's energy toward Gemini. Interesting. Ace of Swords in reverse. So they're also not seeing things clearly. This person's emotions are kind of all over the place. I feel like they're allowing their emotions to control their judgment and their movements, choices, and decisions. Yeah, that's what I said. They're allowing those subconscious limiting beliefs to totally take control. This person's energy toward Gemini. This person's energy toward Gemini, please. Ooh. 10 of Pentacles and King of Cups in reverse. See, they saw the long-term potential of this, but then they have this King of Cups in reverse. I feel like they didn't know how to, like that long-term potential scared them. And so I feel like they jump into this King of Cups in reverse, or Queen of Cups in reverse, and you could be dealing with a water sign, or this is just a very emotional energy. So it'd be Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. You definitely don't have to be. But what I'm getting at is I feel like they allow their emotions to override the potential that they had in this connection, that this connection gave them, or that they felt with this. And so I feel like, interesting. It's almost like they were their own worst enemy in this, but they projected that onto you. That's what, like, they were their own worst enemy, but you became the projection of that. You became their enemy. Not actually. I'm not saying you are this person's enemy or that they view you like that, but like, it's like the ways that maybe this connection had a downfall, or the ways that they feel about it. It's like you've become the projection of the things. Oh, okay. This is kind of big. You've become the projection of the things they don't really like about themselves, which is so common in relationships. Because one thing that I once heard was that your biggest complaint about your partner is the reflection of your deepest emotional need and not actually their biggest flaw. Every single thing that we complain about when it comes to our partner that annoys us, that triggers us, that frustrates us, everything about that is actually a reflection of us. And when we are acting from a place of our insecurity, we will see the relationship and the connection through that lens. Now, this is not to say that anyone is not at fault or that people don't treat other people poorly. That's not what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, everything that happens, or that in the way that we perceive that in a relationship, is a reflection of our own stuff. And if we allow those projections to be how we respond, which essentially is more reacting than responding, we will sabotage that connection. Because any connection that is sustainable for the long term, be romantic or otherwise, has to come from a place of mutual willingness to grow. The ability in any argument to take accountability for their side and to say, and I'm talking both people, to say, this is where I messed up, this is how I perceive things, the ability to communicate, the ability to understand how individually you play a role and how to grow, right? If someone else is merely projecting and reacting, there is no room for growth there. They're not allowing room for growth, because at that point they're saying, this is your fault, the blame is on you, there's nothing that I need to change or do. In fact, I'm the victim here, and this is all your fault, right? And in that situation, and I've been there, I have played the victim in plenty of relationships in the past, and they're not sustainable. They're not sustainable, and they're also not going to, you won't be able to heal from them until you're able to see the role that you played. And so I say that because I feel like this person, coming from purely a place of projection, a place of reaction, they created almost like emotional turmoil for themselves and then put that on you. And I feel like you spend a lot of time maybe trying to like help them see things clearer, or try to be who you felt that they needed you to be, or whatever the case was, to alleviate their own projections. And that within itself is you putting their emotional stuff ahead of your own, because you have your own emotional needs, right? But I feel like there wasn't room for your emotional needs in this connection because so much of it was being taken up by this person's energy toward Gemini. And what that feels like, and it's funny that I was about to say this and then that came out, is a very karmic relationship. Because you have the Lovers in reverse, they have the Lovers in reverse, Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and Page of Wands. They have this inner child energy that makes them not feel deserving of love. Now, the way that they handle that is probably being a little bit manipulative or a little bit controlling or playing games or not being emotionally able to handle hard conversations without getting defensive, right? And sure, you can have empathy for this person all day long and you can say, well, they have a rough past, or they've been cheated on before, or they've been treated poorly in the past, or whatever the case is. You know, you can have empathy for people all day long. But that does not mean that their trauma is your problem, or your responsibility. There's a difference between being sensitive about someone's trauma and trying to help them work through it themselves and bearing the burden of it and trying to be the fixer. And I feel like this person expected you on some level to like kind of be the fixer of their stuff, whether or not you realize that was the case or not, right? And no one can take on that burden. No one is capable of that. Now, I feel like you happily would have done it because you had a lot of love for this person. But I also feel at the same time that over time, that love for this person started overpowering the love that you had for yourself. And that started to become very dangerous and possibly pretty toxic. All right, this person's energy toward Gemini. This person's energy toward Gemini. Ooh, interesting. Okay. King of Wands. So there's that fire sign energy again when I said Queen of Wands. You don't feel, this person made you feel undeserving of them. But you are not, they don't feel deserving of you. Now remember, I'm trying to read the subconscious here. I'm reading the things that this person would probably never say out loud if they're a little bit too prideful, right? They probably tried to make you feel, maybe they were condescending, or in some way they tried to make you feel like you weren't deserving of them, which is why this courage, this personal power is coming into play so much. But at the core of it all, they didn't feel deserving of you. And so I feel like that's why so many of their issues came out in this connection. All right, this person's energy toward Gemini. Now, no one's perfect, right? It takes two people in every situation for a situation to end, to start and end. And so the only thing you can do, you cannot control the way that this person views or the way that this person has handled this connection. What you can play a role in is seeing, okay, how did I play a role? You know, why do I believe that I have to take on people that have so much trauma and try to fix them in order to be happy? You know, why do I believe that in order to be loved, the person that, like for instance, if you live for someone's potential and you say, well, I see how much potential this person has and I see who they could be and I see what we could be, and you fight so hard for that you try to fix the other person or fix the relationship or whatever the case is, what you're saying is you do not believe that the universe will bring you someone that aligns with you. You believe on some level that the only way you're going to receive the love you deserve, the love that you want, is if it is within your control, right? And that within itself is a limiting belief. And I feel like that's kind of what you are dealing with in this connection, is believing that the love that you deserve either doesn't exist or only existed in this person, if, in the potential of this person, or something like that. When in reality, the love that we deserve will come to us, and I've experienced this in my own life, will come to us whenever we start to realize that we have to love ourselves to the extent that we're looking for someone else to love us. That is the only way that you will ever be able to attract any kind of relationship, romantic or otherwise, that aligns with the love that you deserve. This person's energy toward Gemini, please. I feel like this person is a little bit manipulative. Ooh, okay. I feel like this person blames you for a lot of their problems. Yeah, they do. It's like the Judgment, the Eight of Cups in reverse. It's like they judge you for their own hopelessness. It's like the way that, like, they put their burdens and their problems on you. Like, they blame you for their own problems. It's the projection. They project. I don't feel like they have a ton of accountability here. Now, that could be a reflection of your own lack of accountability. Keep that in mind. I just want to make sure in these readings that I'm not sitting here saying, oh, it's all this person's fault, because that's never the case in any connection or relationship. But I feel like this person puts a lot of the blame on you for things that they have kind of done to themselves. Okay, this person's energy toward Gemini. This person's energy toward Gemini, please. Queen of Swords in reverse. Emperor in reverse. Four of Pentacles in reverse. That's exactly what it is. Their control, their manipulation tactics, their inability to give, their emotional unavailability, emotional inconsistencies, all of that is the reason that they're in this Four of Pentacles in reverse energy. This Emperor in reverse is the reason, is what has led to this Four of Pentacles in reverse. But for whatever reason, and it could just be that this person has no idea how to, like, look within, they're making it, like, they're putting the blame on you in some way. And that, I mean, that's their inability to take accountability, right? And that's not on you, but it's almost because you did bear the burden. It's like they expected you to maybe fix them or help them, heal, not help them heal, like heal them. Not because you can be in a relationship where you're helping the other person heal, like you're supporting, but it gets a little bit more toxic whenever you're expecting the other person to heal you. It's like they expected that from you, and then you obviously, because no other person can heal someone else, weren't able to provide that. And then they turned around and now they're upset with you because you couldn't essentially be like their knight in shining armor, like whether you're male or female. It's a saying, right? It's like, so it's almost like I don't know, they're kind of at war with themselves here, but it's almost like because they're at war with themselves and projecting a good amount of that on you. And so I just feel like you shouldn't take anything that this person does or says personally, because I feel like they are dealing with oh so very much that it almost feels like you kind of got to just let this person work it out on their own. Like, I don't know. I don't know. All right, I'm going to hop on over to the extended, where you have Karmic Path and Devil. I'm going to pull 9 different messages, and then I have an advice card to pull at the end. I did up those prices this week on my extendeds from $5 to $8 to purchase a single extended. However, I still have the option of $10 a month for access to every single extended on my channel. So do keep that in mind through my Patreon. Both of the links for that are in the description box below. Thank you so much, Gemini, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. Bye, Gemini.